Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Benson. What's yours? So as many of you know, recently, if you watch the channel regularly, I had LASIK surgery. If not, I used to wear glasses as of January 31st was the last day. It was the day I had my surgery for LASIK. And I, through the vlogs and stuff, have talked about the surgery and stuff, but it was kind of commented that I should probably do a sit-down video specifically for the LASIK and kind of explain everything that happened and my thoughts before and after. So basically the way that LASIK eye surgery works is that they go in with some lasers and they change the shape of your eyes so that you can process, you know, your sight better. And so I figured it's still considered a surgery, even though it's an outpatient surgery, but you know, things happen to your eyes and it can be scary for people with anxiety and stuff. So I figured why not take you step by step so you know what you're getting into. Because there were even things like, I had done some research, but there were even things going into this surgery, you know, post the surgery that happened that I was unaware of. So I figured if I could share these with you, I will. So basically what happens is you call, you make an appointment with the LASIK office, wherever you're gonna have your surgery done. I went with LASIK Plus. Not a sponsor yet, and they are in Jacksonville, Florida. You make the appointment, you go in, they do eye exams, they look at your eyes, and they make sure that you're a good candidate, because again, if your stigmatism's too bad or your eyesight is too bad, sometimes LASIK surgery is not a good option. So they sit you down, they do all the tests and stuff, have you look at green dots and read letters without your glasses and stuff, and then they basically, through all of that, hone in what it would take to give you better vision without glasses. And so for me, their aim was 2015, which is actually what I had prior to surgery. Prior to glasses, actually, I had 2015 in one eye and I think 2010 in the other at one point. And I think they call 2015 pilot vision, because this is what you have to have if you want to be a pilot, like a fighter pilot. So they do that, and then they sit you down with somebody and they go over the price of the surgery and options to pay for the surgery, whether you're going to pay out of pocket, you're going to do some kind of like payback agreement. I think another option is like a medical credit card, because it's a very pricey surgery. I'm not even going to play with you there. It is a very, very pricey surgery. And then they tell you they want to bring you back another day so they can dilate your eyes and do some further testing and sit you in with a doctor. So you have to make the decision. Do you want to pay that bill? How you want to pay it? You know, you don't have to pay it till the day of the surgery, so you can still go get your eyes dilated and do that. So they bring you back in, you know, in your next appointment, they dilate your eyes, and basically what they're testing is the thickness of your cornea. And the cornea is, there's this layer that goes over top of your eyes. It's like called a window. And depending on the thickness of that cornea, that determines what type of LASIK surgery, if you even have an option for LASIK surgery. Like if your cornea is too thin, there's no option for you. So I have a thinner cornea than most people, so instead of getting regular LASIK surgery, the option they gave me was what's called PKR. So, hang on, I have a quote. I'm going to give you the definition of from their website. So, let's see. LASIK is they will use a laser to create a thin corneal flap. So basically, if you just get regular LASIK, they take a laser and they cut a flap in your cornea and they flip it back. Okay. Let me stop right there. This is going to get weird because I'll even explain the actual surgery to you later on in the process. So if you're kind of cringy, sorry I didn't put this prior to the cornea flap thing, but going forward it's going to get a little bit weirder too, because I'm actually going to get in detail. There's eye touching and stuff like that. So, and let me back into the quote from them. So they'll use a laser to create a thin corneal flap, which is typically less than the thickness of one human hair. Your surgeon gently folds the flap back to expose the cornea. A computer-controlled laser then emits cool pulses of light that reshape the cornea to your individual vision correction needs. And this is later on in the quote from the website. Most patients return to work or normal activities within less than 24 hours. Patients notice an immediate improvement in their vision, which improves as the eye continues to heal. Now, the difference between PKR and LASIK is, what makes PKR different from LASIK is how the cornea is prepared. So during PKR eye surgery, a thin layer of the cornea tissue, the epithelium on the surface of the eye is gently removed, and I'll tell you how they do that later, hang on. Gently removed, this exposes the cornea to be reshaped by the laser. The laser application to reshape the cornea is just the same as LASIK, and once completed, a contact lens is placed over the eye. This contact lens acts as a bandage, protecting the eye for a few days during the regeneration of the epithelial. PKR does have added benefits for some patients regardless of their corneal thickness. PKR may also be presented as an option for patients who suffer from chronic dry eye or those who work in certain professions like firefighting, police, or participants in certain activities like boxing, MMA, where risk of eye injury is highest and therefore the risk of flap damage following the LASIK is possible. I will say, from when I talked to the doctor, whether you have LASIK or not, they do put the bandage contact lens, and it's literally just a real contact lens that they put in your eye, and it just kind of protects that area that they worked on. All right, so now some things to keep in mind if you're getting the PKR surgery. You can't drive for the first 5 days. So if they tell you you're gonna have PKR, understand you need 5 days off, whether you're taking vacation. Again, you're having it on a Friday, so you have to take that Friday off even if you're having LASIK, so you can go home and rest. So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you can take Monday and Tuesday off, you should be able to drive by then. Now I will tell you, going into that with the understanding, could I drive after 5 days? Yes. I drove the following Wednesday to the doctor's office to have the lens taken out and for them to do my checkup. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's still not as easy as driving with your glasses prior to surgery. And the reason is you're still healing through the process. And so some stuff, even now I'm almost a month out, and there at certain distances things are still fuzzy and hazy, but it's because it can take up to like 6 months for the full healing to happen on your eyes. So keep that in mind. Yeah, you can drive after the 5 days, but it's still going to be a little weird because you're going to have some haze. Especially for me, this was a really bad eye, my left eye, and so it was still taking longer to heal than my right eye, and that's still the case now. So, I mean, I can read great. There's a Word document behind you set at calibre 11, and I can read it perfectly fine from this distance. I will tell you the light's a little bright, so I'm still dealing with some light sensitivity post-surgery, but let's see here. The other option with the PKR is they do offer you the option to do it one eye at a time because it takes so long to heal. LASIK, they do them both, no big deal, because you're up and done in 24 to 48 hours. With the PKR, they sometimes will recommend that you get one eye done and then come back and have the other eye done. So that's an option, but keep in mind you're looking still at 5 days healing per eye. Again, I mean, you can go to work after 48 hours with one eye having the surgery and one eye not, but you're gonna have to wear your glasses with a lens popped out. So just keep that in mind. These are options with the PKR that they gave me. All right, so for the day of surgery, again, the anxiety is gonna kind of kick in because again, it's still a surgery and they're messing with your eyes. So just kind of be prepared for that to happen. It's basically like any surgery, you're gonna have some kind of hesitation to it because not only are they working on your eyes and stuff, but it's a big change. Like you're going from wearing glasses every hour that you're awake to never having to wear glasses again except for maybe some sunglasses. So just be prepared for those anxieties to kind of flush a little bit. You will need somebody to drive you home that day, or you could take an Uber if you live close enough. So there's an option there. Reason you want to be able to have access to an Uber and you need somebody to drive you home is you can't see well enough to drive, and they want you to go straight home and take a nap. In fact, they give you a thing of Tylenol PM to take as you're walking out the door as you get in the car, because they want you to go home and take a nap, because the more you sleep, your eyes are closed, they heal faster. So now when you arrive on the day of surgery, they'll have you sign the waiver forms, which are your payments, and make your payments to them. Then they give you a big bag. It's got vitamins that you take for a month, and basically I believe it's like omega-6 and some different amino acids and stuff, and what those do is they help increase tear production so that your eyes stay really liquidy and moist, because the more moisture and stuff in your eyes, the easier they heal. Then they also give you some eye drops. It's Blink's lubrication tears, because you'll use those for at least a month. Then they give you a antibiotic drop that you use 4 times a day for a week. and then they give you the Tylenol PM in the bag. That's all in the bag with you. And then they bring you back. The doctor will talk to you about the surgery, take a quick peek at your eyes beforehand as well, so that he just wants to reassure that because the doctor I met during the dilation was not the same doctor that did the surgery. So basically he's just doing a double check, making sure there's no damage to your eyes that's happened since your last checkup and stuff like that. Make sure there's no change in the thickness of your corneas that might cause a problem with the operation. Once he meets with you, then they'll set you in a waiting room. From that point, you've got maybe 10 minutes before they take you back. Now, when they brought me back into the operating room, they did tell me that they do post a Facebook Live for about 45 seconds, and they ask if you're okay with them doing that. It's not something you have to do. You can't tell them no, but with this office, just be warned. The one in Jacksonville, they do say, hey, we're going to do a little Facebook Live for 45 seconds. It helps them get the word out there. Just thinking about it is kind of weird because they're doing a lot of people on Friday, so that Facebook page has got to have a ton of people in one day because the surgeries aren't that long. Once you go into the operating room, depending on the type of eye surgery you're having, there are a couple things that can happen. If you're having the regular LASIK surgery, they're going to sit you in a specific chair to create the cornea flap. Now, again, I had PKR, so they didn't set me in that chair. For me, with PKR, everything happened on one table. And then after that, I had to sit in a chair. So from this point on, anything specifically that I talk about is specific to the PKR surgery, because again, I don't know what all they do with the LASIK surgery. I don't think some of the stuff that happens during the PKR surgery happens during the LASIK surgery. So from this point on, anytime I'm talking about the surgery or the healing after effects and stuff, it's specific to PKR. So PKR surgery, they take you directly to the bed with the laser that they're going to correct your vision with. Once you're there, they're going to put a lot of numbing drops in your eyes, and then they start with one eye. So I will tell you that they put a lot of numbing drops in your eyes. They want to make absolute sure that you do not feel any pain through this process. So they hosed both eyes down with the numbing drops. And then, of course, you have a little hairnet on, so you can't wear any jewelry or anything. You have a hairnet on. They put paper right here to kind of catch any of the drops, because like I said, they put a lot of stuff in your eyes as they're going through the process. So they numb both eyes, and the first thing they do is they put lid spreaders in your eye to hold your eyelids open. That was probably kind of the worst part, because it's basically, think those eyelash curlers that you have. Basically, it's reversed. So instead of curling your eyelashes and clamping down, it hooks under your eyelids and spreads it open, so that they can do the work without you blinking. And they only do it to one eye at a time. So once that's done, they use this brush that I can only really describe as an electric toothbrush, and that's what they use to kind of not scrape, because they brush away that thin layer that we were talking about of the cornea so they can do the work. They brush away that top layer, and I think in this process they're also brushing away enough so that they can fix the stigmatisms and stuff. And the difference, so astigmatism is basically, instead of having a round eyeball, your stigmatism means you have more of a football shaped eyeball, or eye. Not so much your eyeball, but your eye is more of a football shape. So they're kind of helping fix that. They're kind of re-rounding the stigmatism and stuff. So they do the electric toothbrush on your eye. It's this is a very freaky surgery in the sense that everything's happening while you're awake, everything's happening while you're there, and you're literally watching this brush on your eye go back and forth. It's just So it's very weird. It's a very trippy surgery, so just be prepared for that. It kind of blew my mind a little bit, because I'm they're really touching my eye. I can't feel any of it, but they are really getting in there. So once they take the scrub brush thing away, then they take this plastic scraper, and they basically scrape away what they've just kind of grated off your eyeball. It's the only way I can say it. It wasn't a grate, but what they've scrubbed away, so they can see, where the laser's got to go. Then they talk with the assistant, verify where they have to set the laser, how intense they have to set the laser to correct your vision, and then boom, they shoot the laser in your eye. It takes 10 seconds of a laser. The worst part of it is there are 4 bright lights on each side of the laser. So the bright light here and here, and it's just you're staring at this little green and red dot, and the whole time these 4 LED lights are boom, in your eyeball. So it's very bright. That's probably that's the second most uncomfortable thing that happened during the surgery. The other one was when he was taking the little electric brush thing and scrubbing my eye. Every now and then he would bump the lid spreader and it would tickle. And I don't mean a little tickle. It was my eyes would be like, close, close, and I couldn't because the lid scraper was there, or not the lid scraper, the lid spreader was there. So that was the worst part, was when he'd bump the lid spreader and it would tickle. So then they do the laser, and then they take a sponge and they put a sponge on your eye for 20 seconds. It's like a little sponge that sits there for 20 seconds, and then they come in, they flush the eye with clean water, then they put in they take out the lid spreader, put the contact in, and then they put in your first set of medicated drops. So the medicated drops that you have to take 4 times a day, your very first drop is done right there after they put the lens and stuff in. And then basically the same thing happens to the other eye. It's a repeat process. Lid spreader, scrubs, squeegee, laser, sponge, drops. Now, before they started this eye, they re-numbed this eye. So they took like about a 2-minute break between these two eyes. But the first thing he did when the doctor walked away was his assistant was like, I'm gonna re-numb this eye just so we know for sure it's numb. Like, it was still numb, I couldn't feel it, but they definitely wanted to make sure you were as comfortable as possible through the entire process. So they are very good in that sense. Freakiest part is the fact knowing they were touching your eye, and it's a little weird because some people can't handle that. Yeah, so, all right, so once that's done, they're gonna move you over to this chair and sit you down. And keep in mind, you can see this whole time, like, nothing's fuzzy yet. I'll say the vision was, it was almost like looking at something underwater. So it wasn't fuzzy, it was clear, but it was almost like there was a layer between me and what I was looking at. They sit you in the chair, and the doctor comes over and he looks at your eyes to make sure that the contact lens is still in place and to make sure everything looks good. Once that's done, they take a picture with you that they later email to you, and you're out of the office. The person who's driving you home takes you home. So you leave the office, take your 2 Tylenol PM while you're in the car, and then they really just want you to head home and take a nap. Now, again, keep in mind that everything that I've been talking about up until this point and further is specific to the PKR, even the healing process. I don't know how the Lasik surgery goes. I don't know how the healing process goes. These are specific to the PKR. And that's the end of part 1. Tomorrow we'll get into the rest of it, where we talk about healing post-surgery and what it was like, my process through the healing, and how long it actually took. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you. Till tomorrow.